What's up, Strike Force community? Gideon here. I got some stuff on my mind that might make me the most hated man in Marvel Strike Force, but it got to be said, so it might as well be me. We are responding to some things that were said earlier by OMG and Tawna. Again, we don't do personal attacks around here. We're not doing any of that. We got to respect these dudes. They're both OGs in the community. They're both grown men. And as grown men, we can disagree from time to time. Both of these dudes are husbands, and at least Tawna is a father. I too am a husband and a father. So we're not going to go in. We're not going to speak negative about people. But I do have a couple points of disagreement that I'd like to address.
Anakin, Chancellor Palpatine is evil! From my point of view, the Jedi are evil!
We would be honored if you would join us.
So that video was, we just took a little clip of it from Star Wars Theory. And if you don't know who he is, definitely check him out. If you don't know who he is, we might need to check your nerd card, brother. You might be out of touch. You might need to get restamped. The reason why we're using Anakin as our backdrop is because one of the tragedies about this film is that the Jedi were destroyed, Anakin falls to the dark side, and all this stuff is happening because people are trying to protect what they love. And in trying to protect it, because of their actions, they end up destroying it. Now, sometimes we get emotional, we get upset in the MSF community, but sometimes the individuals, us who think we're protecting things, we can say things, we can be rash, and if we're not careful, it is us who are going to destroy the community. We're always pointing the fingers at Scopely, but it could be us who are destroying the community. With the data mine for the Moonstone event, immediately we're trying to burn the building down. We got to hold on a second. We got to pump the brakes. We don't even know what the event's going to look like. There was a lot of emotion surrounding the Kang Hunt event, but in reality, when we look back at it, it's not that bad. Just because the individuals got the character early, all they really benefited from was to farm a couple extra nodes. They got a couple extra ISO and whatnot, and when we unlocked the characters, we got to get some of that stuff too. Mobile, aren't you always saying that if they're gonna make you have to do this, shouldn't they wine and dine you a little bit? Right? Isn't that what you say? They're doing that for you. They're doing that for you. They're giving you a little extra for buying the character early. And we're getting upset. We gotta hold on. We gotta pump the brakes. Okay, the paid players should have an advantage. That's how games should work. The paid players should have an advantage. They're gonna get the character early. If they get a little extra bonus for having that, there's no harm in that. I'm a free-to-play player. I'll get mine in a couple weeks. Don't get upset for me. I'm gonna be fine. Either I unlock the character or I don't. Either way, I'm gonna do my Crucible matches. That's where the points are gonna come from. So before we get upset, let's just wait, see what the event looks like. Everything is probably going to be fine. And if it's not, I'm a grown man. If I gotta eat my words, so be it. Won't be the first time I'm wrong, ain't gonna be the last time. So in the meantime, let's just pump the brakes, see what we can do to get through this, see what we can do to get something done. So we got our guy, let's name him Fred. So Fred, he's got that FOMO. He's feeling sad because he might not unlock the character. But we just need to be mindful, where is this coming from? Is it coming from Scopely, or is it coming from the creator community? Really, is it us who's saying in advance that he's not going to be able to get the character, that the event's going to be bad? We can't do that. The game is going to get harder. I agree with you, Mobile. The game is just going to get harder. Life gets harder. It doesn't get easier. You have to get stronger. That's just what it is. So instead of scaring off the player base, right, we got to think about that. Maybe it's us, right? Every time you look at a video, if you're a new player, you look at a video, if you look at the top 5 creators, are they promoting the game, or are they saying that the game is trash? Are they saying that you can't play as a new player? Are they saying you can't play without spending money? Yeah, I know for some reason this dude has 3 arms. I don't understand why. I asked the AI for some FOMO, and this is what it gave me. So there it is. But we as creators, we need to do a better job at helping the community to get stronger, to navigate the events, to discern ahead of time, hey, this might not be completable free to play. This is what it's going to take to get it done. And that way, there's not as much of an outcry. That way people can strategize and get things done. Another point really quickly we just want to address. The statement was made that we're removing resources from the game. That's a pretty big accusation. So again, before we proceed with that, Is there any proof? Just because the items aren't sitting here in the calendar doesn't mean the items are gone, that they're not available for us to obtain. So now I'm putting the onus back on you. You guys said this, so now I'm asking you to prove it. Now I'm asking you to prove it. Put your money where your mouth is and show us that. Prove me wrong. I'm saying that things are fine. Prove me wrong. The only evidence I have is this. Here's my baby account. Here's little Gid. He's got 4,400 cores. I typically, just as a general rule, don't like to drop below 5,000. That's just a general rule for me. And at this point, with some of the events that went on already, I'm below that. I have not yet been able to regain that amount. So maybe some items are indeed missing. On the flip side, here's my main account. And I went well below 5,000 because I spent cores to try to unlock Kang early. I did not succeed, but I spent to unlock Kang early. And now we've gotten back up. Now we've gotten back up above 5,000. So somewhere between this account and the small account, it seems like the resources are still going smooth. Maybe somewhere for the characters a little bit lower, the players a little bit lower, they're not able to recoup what they need. So that is a point of concern. Scopely, if you're watching, if you're just looking into that, maybe this is just me, but just take a quick peek and make sure the newer players are able to get what they need to keep moving forward. I also want to urge caution on how we speak about the Scopely employees. Many times people call them incompetent, foolish, they're dumb. We really got to stop saying stuff like that. They can't say anything back. They're a company. We know that the majority of them work hard. There's some cats running around, the fat cats that are just interested in the money. There's a lot of folk over there that are just trying to do their best, just trying to do their job and feed their family. They can't respond to the negative comments that some of us make. And we know that. We know that. And so that's pretty weak, if we're being honest here. That's pretty weak sauce, that you know that someone can't defend themselves and we go after them anyway. Some people might call that bullying. Now me, I'm under no such regard. So, right, if we want to make it fair and you want to go at it, we can do it. We can do it. Ain't nothing going to happen to me. But I'm just urging, please try to work with these individuals. They're hardworking people. They're trying to feed their family. They're trying to make sure they create this game that we all love and make it better every day. They're going to be successes. They're going to be failures. Let's treat them with respect. Let's stop being ticky-tack and actually address some of the real problems. That way, the real problems get taken care of, and we're not encouraging them to just chase after the win, because that's not fair and that's not right. I also want to address the comments about them not being somebody over at Scopely who's like Tawna, who can't look into the files and see this stuff is wrong. We make it sound like Tawna just sits down and says, ooh, this is wrong, and ooh, this is wrong, and ooh, this is wrong, and he fixes it. And I don't think that's how it works. You could prove me wrong, but I don't think that's how it works. So Tawna, he loves the game. He's a smart dude, so he probably plays the game, and maybe he notices, yeah, this isn't exactly cool. This isn't how it's supposed to work. So he goes and checks on that. Also, it's probably not just one person, right? Everybody knows that Tawna is the man. He's the data mine guy. So if something is weird or something is wrong, if they think they see a bug, they're going to send him videos. They're going to send him screenshots, right? It's not just going to be him. It's a community that's working together, that's discovering these things and fixing these things. And it's really that community aspect that I think we overlook. I mean, you're talking about the computing power of millions, right? 1 million people play this game. Hundreds of thousands regularly play it. You got Facebook, you got Reddit, you got your Discord, you got your in-game chat. There's a ton of people that are getting reps in different modes and different spots in the game. How many people does Scopely have? Let me show you something real quick. So this is just a screenshot from the video that kind of got me thinking about this in the first place. At the time I took the screenshot, it's got over 12,000 views. So just imagine it. There's 12,000 people. We're talking about people probably all over the planet, right? And those people all play this game. These are engaged players. So 24 hours a day, all over the planet, there's different people that are engaging in different aspects of this game. How many people work on the kits, right? We're not talking about the art department. We're not talking about, all that other stuff. We're just talking about how many people at Scopely work on the kits. I'd like to know. Does anybody know? Mo, would you know? Donna, do you know? How many people work on the kits? You got cats. These cats are working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Maybe they got to bring it up a little bit. Boss saying, yo, we got to get it done. We got to get it done. Maybe they got to bring it up a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's just them. Even if I don't think they got 100 people. Let's pretend they got 100 people. So it's those 100 people working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week against the computing power of hundreds of thousands of people who are playing this game 24/7. There's no way those 100 people can match the computing power of hundreds of thousands of people that in essence don't take a break. You know what I'm saying? The community is invariably going to find flaws that the developers simply do not have time to address. They don't have the computing power of the entire community. They don't have social media going 24/7. So we have to stop crushing these dudes. We have to cut them some slack. If we want things to get better in the game, then we have to make sure that attention is focused on the true problems and then offer some solutions so that we're not chasing our tail all the time. I'm throwing the gauntlet down here and I'm saying you don't know what you're talking about. Now we're going to get into the interesting part of the video. We have this figure here. This is a figurine from the Hero Clicks tabletop game. Now this game is similar to Marvel Strike Force. There's little guys like this that come out. They all have their individual powers, abilities, stuff like that. And it's a game that I used to play a lot with my buddies. They come out quarterly. So quarterly, I'd buy a new set. So there's probably about 50 characters in here. So each of these characters, once again, they have their own abilities. They have their own little rule set. They have a strategy for how you use them. Continues to compound on each other as you get more and more. So guaranteed you, this is just a fraction of my collection. So there's hundreds. I have thousands of these little figurines. They all have their own special abilities. They all have their own special rules. The game itself has its own special core rule book. These rules need to be kept in mind at all times. This is kind of the foundation, the governing body of the game. Each figurine, each character has its own special abilities and special rules that govern its play in the game. The various maps also have special rules that need to be kept in mind. So obviously we see where we're going here. With thousands upon thousands of characters in this game, you can run into interactions that you did not anticipate. You might find things that you didn't see in testing that need to be explained, and it takes time for the judicial committee of the game to figure out what the appropriate ruling is. Come back later and clarify, maybe even redact some of the information, the kits of some of the characters, because again, there's thousands of interactions. Now I know that Marvel Strike Force does not have thousands of characters, but you can see the information, the ideology, the premise is the same. As more and more characters are released, you have to consider how the kits work together. And it's possible with hundreds of characters in the game, with hundreds of thousands of players playing the game 24/7, that interactions that one did not anticipate may come to the fore, and that presents itself as bugs. Maybe it's not a bug. Maybe it's just the way the person who was writing it down, the train of thought that they had at the moment, that 100% makes sense. To them, that's how it works. But to you or me, when we see it, we don't track it the same way. We don't follow it exactly word for word because our thought process is different. In that case, that means that it's not a bug. It's just a difference in our understanding, a difference in our opinion. And once again, maybe we shouldn't crush people for that. We all love this game, or else we wouldn't be here. So let's work hard. Let's work together to make sure we can enjoy it for years to come. Let's stop trying to burn the building down and see if we can unite the community. Again, let's find out what the main issues are and start solving them one at a time. Let's find out what the player base actually needs and wants so we can get those things implemented. Let's work on our communication with the company. That way there can be a dialogue. They can hear the criticism, not feel personally attacked. and they'll be more apt to work with us and get some things done. Now the ball's in your corner. Everyone, what are you going to do with it? With all that said, I eagerly await your response. Peace.